While Canada continues to plan its response to the tariffs set to take effect in March, U.S. President Donald Trump remains steadfast in his belief that the country should become the 51st state of America. While signing more executive orders about tariffs in the Oval Office yesterday, the president once again put forward the notion that Canada would benefit from being absorbed by the United States, even saying he's spoken with Governor Trudeau about it. Tessa Bennett joins us in studio for more on this. Tessa, how is this rhetoric impacting Canada?
Manisa, the country is grappling with what some are calling the Trump effect. The president has repeatedly threatened tariffs and annexation, becoming one of Canada's top political issues, despite the uncertainty in Ottawa.
That's why Canada should be our 51st state. That's why I feel they have to become a state. So I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
Before re-entering the White House, U.S. President Donald Trump began taking aim at an unlikely target, Canada. And in the 25 days since he has made his return, Trump has repeatedly threatened layered tariffs on Canadian goods, discussed pulling future military support, and suggested annexation to avoid the costly economic measures. The president has argued Canada failed to stem irregular migration and the trafficking of fentanyl along the world's largest border.
Maybe a strategy. It may be also that he's simply better at breaking things than at building things. Because that allows him to feel like, and perhaps to show to his MAGA voters, that he's doing something, but he's actually just breaking things.
To stave off the economic measures, which would do considerable damage to the Canadian economy, the president has suggested Canada become the 51st state.
You can't actually trust any agreement that he makes. So running around trying to respond to everything because he changes it every day. Running around trying to respond to everything, I think, is a fool's game.
And the president is once again trending online for his recent comments calling the Prime Minister Governor Trudeau. Trump first proposed the idea to erase the 8,891-kilometer-long border in December of last year, when Trudeau visited his Mar-a-Lago property. While initially passed off as a joke by attendees of the event, the situation escalated when Trump referred to the Prime Minister as Governor Trudeau for the first of what would become many times. The PM has been firm in his position on the matter, saying on social media weeks after the event, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. Trudeau reiterated the point earlier this week. But the show of force has not done much to deter the president, who has used his first weeks in the Oval Office to sign executive orders relating to tariffs against Canada and push the idea of annexing the country.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens, but it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now.
The amalgamation of these issues has put Canada into somewhat of a gray area, as none of the economic measures have been put into effect, despite tensions remaining high.
I think the best thing to do is to think about Canadian production, to think about, as people have been doing, discussing reducing interprovincial trade barriers.
And Canadians have been finding ways to show patriotism, shoring up support to buy Canadian-made products from Canadian companies. One report from CBC even shows some businesses selling Canadian flags have seen spikes in demand. Canada and the United States have long been close allies and trading partners, and it has many wondering, where do things go from here? Alistair Edgar from Wilfrid Laurier's Balsillie School of International Affairs says there is no clear path forward.
One thing that we have learned from his first term and the bouncing backwards and forwards from Obama to Trump to Biden to Trump is that there is no consistency anymore. We cannot assume it.
Trump's 25% tariffs on Canadian exports have been delayed until March 4th, with the added steel and aluminum tariffs set to take effect March 12th.